What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today for another deck profile, and this time it's for Cyberse Eldlich. So it's 60 card Cyberse Eldlich, also involves the adventure package, so do keep that in mind. Of course, you can cut the adventure package though if you don't really want to play that and kind of mix around things in your own way. The adventure package, yeah, not 100% necessary, although does add negates, makes the deck a whole lot better in my opinion. But if you are trying to go on more of a budget side, it's okay. It's not 100% necessary. But before we get started this profile, as always, please remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people to the channel. And let's get on into this deck profile. Before we do get started on this one, though, it is brought to you, of course, by yourplaymat.com, who got us our beautiful NolanTCG extra deck sleeves. These are available on yourplaymat.com, as well as you can get custom sleeves and custom playmats, so whatever you need for the current format. There is an affiliate link in the description down below that does get you a little bit of a discount on your order. Also, enter the code NolanTCG for 10% off your order. Also kicks back a little bit to the channel, so everything will be very much appreciated. If you're shopping there, you're getting custom sleeves, custom playmats down. Make sure to enter our code at checkout. But let's get on into this deck profile. Okay, we do start off with the main deck, of course, and it is quite thick. We are playing 60 cards. So starting us off, we have our Cyberse package. So these are essentially just your link climbing plays. We, of course, have our 3 copies of Cyberse Gadget. Does have a normal summon effect. Doesn't come up that much, so doesn't come up realistically at all. So don't worry about that conflicting with the adventure package. But yeah, so we got that. Then we have 3 copies of Firewall Guardian, and then the 1 copy of Dotscaper. Essentially, yeah, like I said before, this is your link package. So you're trying to climb through into whatever link plays you need to do. Hopefully that means that you're scything your opponent and skipping their turn. And then we go into, I guess, our Eldlich main deck monsters. Big surprise, it's 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord. You can probably squeeze a way to fit 3 into this list. I have opted to play a different Garnet at 2 instead. I'm sure now you know what that is. But yeah, we're going 2 copies of Golden Lord. You can put it to 3 if you want, but it's not 100% necessary. Then we have our Brave package, or Adventurers. So now we've got 3 copies of Water Enchantress of the Temple, followed up with our 1 copy of Wandering Griffin Rider. This is, of course, if not the one that we've opted to play 2 of. We've opted to play 2 of the other Garnet. And yeah, essentially, we're just straight up an adventure package. Pretty standard at this point. Then we have our DPE stuff. So we have 1 Dasher and 1 Celestial. Again, relatively standard stuff for this deck. And then we have our hand traps. So we are playing crossout. So hand trap ratio, a little bit here or there. We've got our 3 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, 2 copies of Effectivaler, 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and 2 copies of Ghost Spell and the Haunted Mansion. You can play the other Ghost Sisters. That way it'd be a Ghost Sister deck, and that way you can title it that way in the thumbnail, future Ben. And then we have the last monsters for our main deck. It's our artifacts. So we got 1 Lancia, 1 Scythe. Each kind of hit other things in the format, but the Scythe is typically what we're going for. But a sneaky Lancia, always pretty good against to be able to drop against Flundery, so do keep that in mind. Then we go into our spell line, and starting us off for our spells, of course it is our Brave package. Starting us off, we've got those 3 copies of Rites of Aramesia, and then 2 copies of Fateful Adventure. We have opted to play 2 of this with all of the Ghost Spells and Ghost Ogres and stuff like that running around the format. Do want to have a follow-up for that. And then 1 copy of Dracoback of the Dracoback the Rideable Dragon. Of course, your equip spell gets you those bounces. Just free resource, so why not play it? Then we hit our Eldlich kind of spells. Pretty brief. It's 3 copies of Cursed Eldland. Straightforward, standard Eldlich card. Play it at 3. Then our Cyberse Searcher. That is 3 copies of Synapse Mining, just to get us through to those link packages, trying to play as many copies of them as possible. 3 copies of Crossout Designator. Follow us up after that to negate all of the hand traps and stuff. Again, more kind of consistency hand trappy based stuff in 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. Another card you can slim down on if you do want to mess around with your other ratios. 2 copies of Forbidden Droplets next, just for your blanket negation. That then is followed up by 2 copies of Fusion Destiny, of course, because we are playing the DPE package. And then lastly, 1 copy of Foolish Burial to round out the spell lineup for the deck. This essentially just turns itself into literally anything, so that's why you play Foolish. Very, very good card in this deck. And then we do get to our trap lineup. So this is mainly Eldlich cards. It is, of course, 3 copies of Scarlet Sanguine just to get to our Golden Lord. 3 copies of Conk, of course, because the pop is much better than the banish at the moment, so we are just playing the 1 copy of Hackwearer after that. And then lastly, rounding out the main deck, we have 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Okay, now we do get into our extra deck, and of course, it is pretty... it's not really linear. Everything has a purpose and transitions into something else, which is the reason, of course, why you're playing it. Starting us off, I guess we have our Link package lines. So we've got our 2 copies of Link Devotee with the 1 copy of Link Disciple. Then we have our 1 Link Garibo for the trap negation, and the 1 copy of Link Spider for kind of converting tokens and playing around all of that kind of stuff. That is it for our Link 1s, so all Cyberse kind of all fit into the same package, I guess is the way to put it. That then does bring us to our Link 2s. For that, we have, of course, our Verte Anaconda for our DPE package, pretty standard. We have opted to play 2 different Charmers, so we can kind of interact with our opponent in different ways. 1 copy of Dark Charmer, and then 1 copy of Light Charmer. Always still really cute to Dark Charmer your opponent's DPE out of their graveyard, and then you just kind of have your own, and that's pretty cute. And then, yeah, the 1 Light Charmer, similar situation, stealing stuff out of the graveyard. Hell, stealing an opponent's Ghost Ogre. Pretty cute, isn't it? And then we have our 1 copy of Dagda following up after that. It's not, I said that like it's the end of our Link 2s, but it's not. Dagda, of course, getting our artifact package through. 1 copy of Halka Fibrax, again, just getting more consistency, getting through our Link plays and stuff like that. And then we have Nightmares. So we've got 1 copy of Phoenix with the 1 copy of Unicorn, starting off our Link 3s. Then our next Link 3 is our 1 copy of Selene, the Queen of Maiden's Majesty. Yep. It is here for transitioning through to access code. You play the effect Veiler, you just summon it back off your... So your Hulk, Veiler into this. This gets everything back, and then you go into access code. And you punch your opponent in the face for 5-3. And then hopefully you've won. If you're not, you still have your DPE. This deck, overall, just makes very big bodies, punches opponent in the face really hard, and hopefully they just don't play through that, do they? But that does wrap us up here for the deck profile for this one. So as always, if you do have any recommendations or things you would change, do make sure to comment them down below. Messing around with this deck is actually really fun. Just being able to like randomly keep playing out of no situation at all. It doesn't play that many extenders, but just 1 card being able to turn into entire packages, really cool. You play so many consistency things that it's not that odd to see 3 different engines in hand and all are fully functional. I guess the only time it's not amazing is if you like don't open overly well in your Eldich line. That's the only time that kind of comes around to bite you in the ass. But overall, your gadget package, super efficient. Oh, your Cyberse package, super efficient. Then you've got your adventure, super efficient. Everything's just making DPE, skipping your opponent's turn, setting Eldritch traps to back all of that up, along with the adventure. This deck can get really unfair really quickly. And that does bring us to the end of the video. So as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.